On the podcast, one family's 9-year fight to bring their son to New Zealand, but the government continues to deny him, the young fella, on health grounds. It's a heartbreaking and wrong decision, I reckon, and you can't make this stuff up. The Green MP, who says having more police on the beat is a dumb idea because it scares people. Honestly, are the Greens trying to appeal to absolutely no one?
Are we paying these people to front up, or are we paying them to fly to Wellington to eat their lunch? Should you really lose your career for refusing to take part in a 90-minute lesson about Māori culture? This government doesn't actually have any idea how to get economic growth. Show us what you made of, Prime Minister.
Editor-in-Chief with Duncan, Garner.
Okay, welcome to the program. You were the Editor-in-Chief. Good evening, everybody. I'm Duncan, Garner. Welcome. Please subscribe. Really helpful. The message is always the same. If you can do that, thank you very much. Tonight, the Green MP, who thinks having more police on the beat only frightens people. I'm trying to keep a straight face here. In the heartbreaking case of a family divided, they all came from South Africa, mum, dad and 2 kids, but New Zealand wouldn't accept the 3rd child, so why not? Let's go.
It's the Slam Dunk.
Okay, so the government's made a concerted effort to put more cops on the beats, and you may have seen more police present on the streets in your community. Certainly, there's some belief that people like to see cops walk the beat in their community because it makes them feel safer, and the police are a mere nudge away or a tap on the shoulder. Hey, can you help us here? But it's become clear that the odd lunatic from deluded down under thinks differently. But I never thought that I'd see the day when a taxpayer-funded member of Parliament would go public and say having more police on the beat doesn't make sense, that it makes you feel unsafe. Her name is Tamatha Paul. She's the Wellington Central MP for the Green Party. She has criticised police beat patrols, saying they make people feel less safe. So more police on the beat make people feel less safe, she says. Now, Police Minister Mark Mitchell called her comments nonsense, citing a 5.5% decrease in violent crime in Wellington Central. Paul suggested alternative institutions could take over some police functions, sparking debate about police roles. Oh dear. Wellington Central MP, that's who she is, Tamatha Paul, says she's heard nothing but complaints about police beat patrols across the country. Has she really? There's nothing but people moaning about having more cops on the beat. I'm sick of these cops on the beat. And she gets all these complaints. Take them off the street. We don't want them here. They're making their place safe. Well, they argue they're making the place unsafe. She also said it was completely possible to set up institutions that can overtake lots of the functions of the police. Is this woman deluded? Wellington people, she says, do not want to see police officers everywhere. You can't make this up. And it makes them feel less safe, she says. If that's constant visual presence that tells you that you might not be safe, well, and there's heaps of cops, she said. It's the constant visual presence of them that makes you feel unsafe. Oh my God! I'm not going to go on any longer than I have to, but what utter fantasy land does she live in? This lot appear to appeal to exactly no one with these comments. Now, these are Chris Hipkins's coalition partner of choice. This is his coalition partner of choice, the Greens. What a bunch of flakes and a national embarrassment. And last year, don't forget, another of the Green MPs said that she felt safer with a gang member than with a police officer. In what world do they live in? This Tamatha Paul suggested that we should release prisoners. There should be no police force and no prison. It's a pile of nonsense, and you're appealing to nobody in particular. I have no idea why you make such ludicrous statements. I'm not even sure you believe in it yourself, but you've said it, so I suppose you do. But how ridiculous. And this is Chris Hipkins's problem now. This is his noose around his neck now, because this is the future government at some stage. Oh, Lord, help us all.
Editor-in-Chief with Duncan, Garner.
Okay, so the post on LinkedIn reads like this. I don't usually do this on social media. Christopher Luxon and Chris Pink. I'm done. Bring my son home. I'm angry, I'm pissed off, and I'm broken. For 9 years, New Zealand's ripped my family apart. 9 years of fighting a system that lacks common sense and basic humanity. 9 years of false hope, wasted money, and watching my son grow up without us. I cannot take it anymore. Telling my sons, your brothers' visa application was rejected. Your brother's visa application has been rejected. They cry every time. This is not fair. We moved here in 2016 for a better future. My wife and 2 sons were given visas. You should have just rejected all of us, and then we would not have been here today. You gave us false hope. My oldest was denied because immigration labelled him as not acceptable standard of health due to a speech and development delay. It's believed he had a stroke at birth or while in the womb, and now he is getting punished for that. But let me be clear, he is not disabled. He can work, he can function fully in society. I've provided every report, every expert opinion proving this. Yet immigration keeps playing God with our lives here in New Zealand. We were granted permanent residency. We will be applying for citizenship in 9 months, and yet my son is still left behind. The government and governments have pulled the rug from under us again and again and again, giving us hope only to take it away. We haven't hugged our boy in 9 years because the idea of leaving him behind and the trauma is unbearable. I've built a business here. I've given my time to my community in so many forms. I've paid my taxes. I've contributed more to this country than many who were handed visas without a fight. I've sent over $300,000 to support my son in South Africa, money that should have been spent raising him here with his family. And today I receive yet another rejection letter from my local MP, Chris Pink. I'm done. Christopher Luxon, I'm done. Chris Pink, I'm done. You claim to stand for family values, then prove it. Stop the political bullshit and bring my son home. So that's the email, and I want to introduce you now. Franz, welcome to the podcast. Nice to see you. And I've caught up with your story, but we'll tell it here again because I think it's pretty brutal on you guys. What's the situation now?
Yeah, so I mean, we're sitting currently with no direction. We've gone through all the possible channels to get, legal approval of status, for him to come over here.
Yes.
There is no avenue for us but to go to media and make a big thing of it.
This is your last desperate attempt.
This is the last desperate attempt for us. It's like,
so you've been here 9 years. He's 15 years of age.
Yep.
You have 2 kids here. You and your wife are here. You run a business here. You pay tax here. You employ New Zealanders here. For all intents and purposes, you're now Kiwi.
Yep.
Permanent residents. You will go for citizenship.
Yep.
And your 15-year-old boy is not allowed into New Zealand because why?
Because they say, so he had a stroke, which they think it was at birth, and that's giving him a delay, a learning disability, a delay. I won't call it a disability because it's an ugly word, but a delay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And so that delay causes him to, his overall development, his brain function is probably lower than what his age is. So,
Okay.
if you think he's 15 now, he's probably functioning on a 10-year-old.
Sure.
All right.
Yeah.
And
But you work hard at it, right?
Yeah. And when he talks, he stutters a lot, like a lot. But you can have a conversation with him, right?
Yes.
5-6 years ago, you could not have a conversation with
Yes,
him.
you've worked
struggled
hard at
really.
it. Yeah.
So we've put him through a lot of therapy to get to this. And I mean, the latest reports that came back, and immigration did note that in the findings too, that there's definitely been significant improvement. And he's from where somebody was a serious health problem to somebody that's now borderline, and that's in their documents.
And he works and stuff, doesn't he? I mean, he can go out there and he does all sorts of things outdoors.
He washes my dad's ute. He makes his own food, washes himself, clean up his room. He can do everything a normal, 12, 15-year-old would do.
Yeah, and you've been going back and forward with immigration, trying to get him in here. And this letter from the last couple of weeks, because you went out to see Luxon, you haven't seen him yet, but you went to his office. And it basically says, from Chris Pink, the Associate Minister of Immigration, I carefully have considered your representations. I advise I'm not prepared to intervene in the case.
That's it.
It's just heartbreaking, isn't it?
It's like the type of letter you'll give to somebody who wants to put out a dog or something, I'm not intervening. That nature takes its course.
Yeah, so that means that the New Zealand government is now responsible for keeping the separation of your family. So we're separating you from your boy, and that's a government decision.
100%, yeah. It's a government decision.
Yeah, are you angry?
I am angry. Yeah, I felt I've done a lot for this country myself. I'm an immigrant coming here, working, done my bits. I'm very involved with the rugby club and sports, and this is the way they treat. I want to be a good Kiwi citizen one day when I get my passport, and this is the way I get treated. It's unfair. And I'm not saying we've done everything right ourselves. I know there's things, immigration can pull us apart on a few points if they really want to, but it's the humanitarian thing of splitting up families. So
you're asking for a special dispensation to allow your 15-year-old boy to be reunited with his mum, dad, and brothers.
Yeah, special circumstances, 100%. We're all here. We're well settled. We're clearly making a living here. We good people. We work hard in our communities.
I can see that. You run a business. You employ New Zealanders.
I'm not one that's going to sit on the couch, and I'm not going to expect the government to to pay all my child support, when I can do it myself.
I can see that. Yeah, this is why I was interested in your story, because I read your stuff, and it just clicked with me. I could see that what sort of guy you were, what sort of family you were, a hard-working family, decent family. You provide support and love for your boy. He should be here.
He should be
and
here.
Chris Luxon, and if he listens to this, you are your business, I think, is electorate, isn't it?
No, we're in construction, so we do concrete structural investigations.
Yep. And so you're based somewhere out by where his office is?
We're in East Tamaki. Yep, we're in East Tamaki. We've been running our business for just over 3 years. We're in our 4th year now, and
And you went to Luxon's office for?
I went to the office there because that was my next step after the first letter I got back from immigration saying, look, they're not going to intervene in this. So I went to Luxon's office for, appealing the last step. It's usually not a process you can do, but I've gone there anyway because that's the last step I had, and there's nothing happening from that end. So here I am trying to sell my story. And I want to make it clear for this story as well. It's not just, I've got my own battle I'm fighting, but there's a lot of other families out there fighting similar battles.
No, I've come across this before.
I've been talking to a guy, he's also a structural engineer, and we feel for each other, We've actually become friends now on LinkedIn.
I can see your pain, brother. I can see it, mate. And hence why I wanted to try and do what we can for you. Is the government's argument that he would be a drain on our health services, or a drain on our country? Is that what the argument is?
That's what the argument is. Yeah, that's what I say in the full statement letter they've sent there. But then they're also contradicting themselves a little bit there in a few areas.
Well, they say that he requires full-time care. My understanding is that's incorrect.
That's incorrect, man. 100%. He doesn't need full-time care. He does not.
And you're paying money anyway for his rehabilitation and his therapy and everything anyway, aren't you?
Yeah. We send money over every month, and
you do the same thing here.
Do the same thing here.
It almost comes down to it's not a health issue; it's a moral issue now.
It's a moral issue, yep, 100% moral issue, correct. And the government is not. I think the thing they're doing wrong. And it's not just this government, the governments before that as well, because I've been dealing with the same process through when Labour was...
no luck with them, either.
No luck with them either. I think they need to come up with options, instead of telling families, splitting them up and, crushing their dreams of actually starting a new life in a different country. Give these parents options. Tell them, pay more tax, give me a... We pay child support and other things. We've made that sort of thing available. Why can't we make it available for something like this?
Did he originally come to New Zealand when you first came here?
No.
No, because you were upfront about his...
Yeah, so we applied everything. They gave the whole family all their visas, which to me is the first instance was a mistake from their end as well. We originally thought it's not going to take us that long because we don't see or believe what they're telling us, the way, how disabled he is.
Yes.
I think that's maybe I'm a bit because I'm a parent. That's my son. I'm a parent, but I'll always look for the best in him.
Of course you do. Every day,
and I think that's how kids become better people out there anyway. Because if you show love and you put a lot in with them, they'll grow to be better humans, to develop to be better.
I've seen this with my own mates and their kids, and one of them has a severe learning difficulty, but the families love this guy so much. They said he'd die by 20. He's still alive at 50 because the family just so embraced. They refuse to not support him. They love him.
100%.
And so family love and positivity, it makes a huge difference.
Big time.
But when you haven't got him here, I find this a heartless. I'll tell you what's happened here. I find I've done a number of these things over the years. I think it's a heartless decision. And I also think that an MP and the ministers, I don't even think that they have seen this as a human being or seen your family as human beings. I don't believe they've actually written into the files. I think public servants have just stamped stuff and moved on.
I think they look for keywords, and when they see those keywords, they just slide the file away. Like there's keywords on a folder that says, not ash, things like that, or disability, or burden on the health system. The moment they see those sort of things, they don't look into the bigger picture. And
they've got to see the humans behind us. They need to. Exactly. That's why it's good to get you in here and they can see you. But we're dealing with human beings and lives.
Yeah,
these aren't robots.
No, it's no robots.
You know,
I
but
mean,
for them it is, because there's no heart in this.
some animals get better treatment than my boy's getting at the moment, you know.
Oh no, we protect animals here. Yeah. So where to now then? Where does it go now? What happens now? You've come to the media basically because this is your last stop, isn't it?
This is our last stop. I just want to, if I can get a meeting with Chris Luxon himself or Chris Peng and, you know, talk this through and find a solution to this,
Yes.
I'll be grateful for that.
So you've never met any of these people?
No, I've not met them. No.
So 9
I've tried to
years.
reach out. I mean, trying to reach out to them on LinkedIn is, you know, like throwing a needle in a haystack and find it again. They won't come back to you, right? So because they're busy, I get it. But I mean, this
they
is
can prioritise stuff. They can prioritise stuff.
They can prioritise stuff. I'm of the way. I mean, I voted for these guys personally, and and I know they've been advertising a lot around family, how important family is, and things like that.
Yeah.
But then they do small things like this. Well, in their eyes, it's probably small, but in my eyes, it's massive. You know,
Well, this is everything.
It's. I think this is the whole society goes around family. You know, if there's no family support, father figure around your boys, that's. I mean, I'm not saying that's why New Zealand's got youth issues, but there's a lot of parental problems in this country.
Yeah, I'm with you on this. I see eye to eye with you. How's your boy doing in South Africa? How's it impacting him? Must be.
Well, it's impacting him, but he's. I think he's a lot like me. He's very positive and outgoing, and he's a very friendly kid. When you have to talk to him over the phone, he's always laughing, making jokes.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
You know, so he's not a negative person. He's not morbid. He's trying his best. He's definitely, and I've seen him come a long way over the last 9 years. So
I almost feel like I have to say sorry. You know, as on behalf of, you know, as a New Zealander, I think this is a decision that needs to stand aside from a file of decisions and look at it from a human perspective.
Yeah,
because I don't see any humanity in this. It's cold.
There's a lot of perspectives people can take on this, you know, and they can take the clerical, like, office sort of approach and say, look, this is the rules. We stick to the rules, or the humanitarian type one. There's, I mean, messages on LinkedIn what I've got after my post. There's a few ugly ones in there. There's a few that want to know more about, you know, what's actually behind this.
Ignore the ugly ones.
I'm ignoring. I didn't respond to them.
You don't, it's not. Yeah, it's not worth it.
And there's a lot of good people out there. I've got a lot of support on that post, and that gives me a bit of hope that there's still people out there actually caring about this sort of things.
Oh yeah, your post I've used as my intro, you see, for here, and because word for word, because I just think it's powerful. It's well written and powerful, and that's what got me interested. I didn't know you existed before your post. You see,
Thank you.
You know.
Thanks.
But I just think that Luxon and his government, the criticism of him is that he's not that human. You know, he's a bit of a robot, and he's a bit disconnected with society. I think that he should intervene here and say, I'm pulling out my Prime Minister's card here. You know,
Yep.
Somebody's coming to my office. He can do that. If he can do that, I mean, it doesn't take him long to do that, or Chris Pink long to do that. They need to meet you.
Yeah.
They need to see this. They need to meet you. They need to see it's a human story.
I would be happy for them to meet me, and, you know, if I can get my boy in here and they can meet my boy, that'd be bloody awesome as well.
Yeah.
So they can actually see, look, we actually had this wrong. He's not going to be a burden. He's actually a lovely kid, and he's got a bright future.
Yeah.
You know.
I know what you're saying. And you, I mean, with some of the harshest critics would say, okay, well then, Francis, why don't you head back to South Africa? You can go and be with him. You can just go back.
Yeah.
What do you say to them? What do you say to that criticism?
I've invested a lot of time here in New Zealand, and I've got 2 other boys I need to look after as well.
Yeah.
I don't just have one boy. So for me, just to focus on, you know, I want to create a future where, like I said earlier, back in South Africa, corruption is a big thing. The crime is out of control there. My wife couldn't find a job there for many years, you know, and that's she got here. She managed to find a job very quickly. There's a lot of reasons why we left South Africa, and I can go into we can have another podcast for that. But the main reason is I wanted to create a different future for my kids in a different environment.
Yes.
That was the main thing. And like I said earlier, I don't just have one boy, I've got 3 boys, and I need to look at how I can do the best, right?
Yeah.
So it sounds maybe selfish what we've done, you know, leaving him behind there, hoping and praying we're actually going to get him through that system, because we didn't believe he should be rejected from the start. We've been fighting this for a long time.
Yeah.
Well, here we are.
I look at the level of immigration into New Zealand, and I see all sorts of people coming here, and I see a lot of them end up in the hospitals and things. And so that's a drain on New Zealand. I just don't understand this.
Yeah, I mean,
why I am.
Anybody can be a drain on the system, like you just said. Now, I can get a massive. I'm not going to say, but get sick, and I'm going to be in hospital for months.
Yeah,
and that will be a drain on the system. But yes, I'm a taxpayer. I get it. Eventually, he will be a taxpayer too. Putting back into the economy and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Aside from going to the media, and you need to speak to us, I encourage you to speak far and wide to the media to get it out there.
Yep.
It can actually have an impact. I've found in the past.
I really hope it will, because I can't see another door.
This is the last stop.
This is the last stop. I can't see another door. We've gone through a process. I can go and get a immigration lawyer again, go through a process again. I mean, we've already gone through it.
How much have you spent on this, you reckon, with the lawyers?
Oh, my word. Plenty. I think
Yeah, tens of thousands.
Tens of thousands.
Yeah. They argued that, you argued that your son would be able to work and contribute in New Zealand society, and he would be able to get on with life. They argue that he'd be a burden on the New Zealand taxpayer. I mean, this guy is entirely physically capable, isn't he?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
He can run, like I said, run around. You wash my dad's car. He makes his own food, clean his room. He doesn't need somebody to dress him or feed him, wipe his mouth for him, or he does all of that himself.
Yeah. Well, good luck. We'll do what I can to get this out there. We'll put this out there tonight, and I'm going to approach these guys independently
I appreciate
on your behalf, especially Pink. Luxon is such a busy man because he's the Prime Minister, right? But we also are a very small egalitarian country where these sorts of things, in the right media hands, can actually have it. We can still make a difference, I think.
Yeah.
So.
100%.
I'll do what I can for you. Yeah, it's nice to meet you, and keep up the fight.
Thank you.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Editor-in-Chief with Duncan Garner.
Okay, time for the editor. Bit of feedback. Big Dog, Isaac, producer Isaac.
Yes, I've got some comments from your latest social post about the All Whites using the term Aotearoa instead of New Zealand.
Yeah.
Here's what your adoring public says. This one from Valentino Creighton. Wearing Aotearoa to the world stage means that other countries will now recognise us as that. The same as Ivory Coast being recognised as Côte d'Ivoire, Brazil as Brasilia, and Brazil being Brasilia. The World Cup is exactly the time for us to make Aotearoa a household name.
Yeah, okay. Aotearoa New Zealand. Aotearoa New Zealand's fine, but why do we cancel New Zealand? Just don't cancel New Zealand. Lots of people care about that.
This one from, I think it's rawchock_18. I'm incredibly proud of this decision. While I don't want New Zealand to lose its identity, I'm genuinely excited about the future and the recognition of us as Aotearoa New Zealand. Clap, clap, clap.
Yeah, and me too. As long as we don't have to cancel New Zealand. It's done nothing wrong. Carry on.
There's a good one here. Why do you say it like it's two separate things, Duncan? Like one can't be the other. New Zealand is Aotearoa, Aotearoa is New Zealand. You can pick either. Either is still. You can pick either, and it still means the same. All that matters is the pride behind it. Stop trying to divide. That's from. This is Reiwiri.
Kia ora, Reiwiri.
It's not a bad point.
It's a good point. That's why I have them together. So that because we are together. Thank you, Isaac. There's better feedback on there though, isn't there? There's.
No, it's good.
I reckon it's 70% actually supporting the position, and 30% of people say, no, come on, mate, get off the grass. There's a bit of both there. Hey.
Editor-in-Chief with Duncan Garner.
Okay, that is us. Thanks for your feedback and your support. Get in touch with our social media at Duncan Garner Podcast, TikTok, Instagram. Flick us an email, duncan@rover.nz. Keep subscribing. We're going to tell you shortly what we're going to do for subscribers. We're going to do something special. We're going to give you something every week. especially for subscribers. So we're just coming up with our offer. What have we got there now? How are we looking? How are we tracking on that? Was it?
Let's have a wee gaze, shall we? As of recording on the 26th of the 3rd, 2025, we have 17,185 subscribers.
Yeah, that's good. So it's slowed up a little bit, so we need to keep it going because we only survive if you subscribe. It's really easy. Just jump. How does it go? Jump on the button, subscribe. Yeah.
Yeah, you hit the subscribe button, hit that bell, you'll get notified every time Duncan posts anything, and you'll be cruising.
God, that's got to be annoying, isn't it? Every time that I post something, here I am. I'm in your life. Anyway, it's us. Thank you, brother. To my team, thank you so much. We'll do it again tomorrow. And remember, life is no dress rehearsal. There's no curtain raiser. This is it. You live, and I live in one of the best places on earth, Aotearoa, New Zealand. So get out and enjoy it. Have a great day, and take care, New Zealand.
Editor-in-Chief with Duncan Garner.